What's going on, folks? So the band Crimson Glory have released a new single here called Chasing the Hydra, and they have a new album coming out April 17th. And as far as I know, this is their first brand new full-length album in over 2 decades, like nearly 3 decades. I believe it was like the late 90s was the last time they released a brand new full-length album, and then kind of some random stuff after, some compilations and things like that. So that's wild. And I'm really curious to see how this sounds. So without further ado, let's get our first taste of what they're bringing. They're back, and what they're bringing on the new album. Rangers, go. Definitely has an old school vibe to it, which I guess could be expected here. There are some things about this song that I really, really liked, and then some things that I wasn't too terribly keen on. That main guitar riff was super sick. I really, really dug that. And then there was those moments where the bass really chimes in, and it just sounded so sick. I love that kind of dark, heavy, ominous kind of vibe with the music and the guitar and all that good stuff. That's always kind of right down my alley. So when the song first started, I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm really, really digging this vibe. And it kind of keeps that vibe throughout. I liked the verses. They had a really cool kind of. I love that almost theatrical approach to vocals, especially with the backdrop of kind of that heavy, dark, ominous kind of music. And that certainly was here with the vocals, like kind of raspy and ominous at first, but then like drifting into the high notes and stuff. I love that kind of thing with vocals, again, especially against a backdrop like this with the music. So I really, really dug that. I was digging it through there, and I was like, all right, let's see what happens, how the song keeps going. But then that pre-chorus hits, and it really, really feels like that pre-chorus is too long and really kind of drops the momentum of the song too much. Like it almost feels like a slog to get through it. And then every time it happened, it was kind of like, all right, here we go. I feel like the vocal melody could have been adjusted there a little bit and maybe shortened the length of it. Because as it is, it's like the pre-chorus is longer than the chorus. And then when you get to the chorus, that also is kind of underwhelming. It's like a handful of lines just kind of there. And like the music picks up a little bit then. But it all just, it just, again, it feels like you're kind of moving through molasses at that point. And I would have liked that tempo to have really kept moving, but the vocal melody, it's almost too slow and deliberate. Like you kind of get like the line, and then you kind of get the line, and it just feels like it really, really drags on. But then after the chorus, you get that sick, nasty guitar melody again that I really dug. The drum work was really cool too. There's some moments where you get the double kicks, and it just sounds awesome. Like for the most part, I really, really like the music. But sometimes it did feel like it slowed down a little bit too much. And I did like the vocals too. It's just my biggest issue, I think, is with the vocal melodies. They just didn't quite land. And then you get the bridge, which was kind of cool. And then, you get a couple of lines that were a bit slower, but it kind of fit in the bridge. Like if that was the only time you kind of had those like sort of deliberate, slower delivered lines, I think that would have been fine there in the bridge. But it just happens too often. And then, after the bridge, it's like, again, you get like that super drawn out pre-chorus. And then the chorus doesn't really add any pep to the song. It just, yeah, I mean, that's my biggest thing. It's like, I like most of the music. I really dug the vibe of the song. I think his voice suits the vibe of this song really well, drifting between kind of that darker, raspy, ominous, and then shifting into those high notes to kind of, really add like the impact there. And again, it really, really adds to that kind of dark sort of approach to it, but with like almost a hint of whimsy in the dark, like a playful, dark, ominous kind of thing, which makes it even sound more evil, So I love that dynamic. It's just those vocal melodies. I mean, it got to a point in the song where honestly my mind started wandering for maybe like a solid 10 to 15 seconds before I was like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. I'm still like reacting here. The song's still playing. Let me focus again. And that shouldn't happen in a song. It should really hold your attention for the entire runtime. But my mind really just started wandering. It almost just faded into kind of just background noise. And I think a big part of that is just those vocal melodies. Just really were just too drawn out, and it makes it just feel a bit dull almost to where you kind of just check out. So there's a lot here that I liked, but there's also a lot that I think was a detriment to the song. They had a solid foundation, but again, predominantly, I think those vocal melodies could have been a bit stronger, a bit more dynamic, a bit more engaging, a little bit quicker in pace, and a bit more of that movement, because there was some of that vocal movement in there, and when that happened, I really enjoyed it. But maybe it could have been a bit more, just to really kind of be infectious and really pull you in to this kind of dark world. So as it stands, a bit middle of the road, a bit disappointing, especially because I think the foundation was strong. I'm still going to be very curious for the new album. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my thoughts on this one. Let me know, folks, in the comments down below. What do you think of the song here? Are you excited the band is back? Are you looking forward to the new album? Let's talk about it, and I'll catch you next time. Ranger. Out.